your nest, here we come. That's right, we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned GVX. And we're gonna do it on the still newish map, Berlingrad. Both our players start us off with their opening supply structures, processing nodes and feeding pools. You'll see that the feeding pool has an outer radius to it. That's because it's a bit like a pylon. The Xayid turret, the bile pit, has to be built within that radius. And it also sets up the boundaries of the feeding pool's healing radius, because it's a little bit like a slow-acting shield battery too. And now the basic production facilities go down, manufacturer and Xayid den. We're doing this. Better get those intros. Our Xayid player is a godlike being, an eternal from the Marvel Universe. He is Sigmar! His opponent, wielding the Genetron, is a common Polish last name which might kind of translate into fortification. He is Bercic! The manufacturer is gonna complete, but without an uploader attached, the only thing it can build is a Spitfire. I put only in quotes though, because as Joseph's been teaching me, the Spitfire is a pretty good opening unit. We've got ourselves a fast Zerg-like expand out of Sigmar, and there is indeed a Spitfire in production. Also a Xaidling for our Xayid player. Imagine Zerglings that shoot from range and you will know my terror. Oh, we're gonna get ourselves a quick expand out of Bercic as well. He's saving up his pennies. And with that, our opening units are gonna appear on the field. He may look cute, but I don't recommend that you feed him. Introducing the Xaidling. He is very upgradable. He's got 3 ability upgrades on top of the numeric ones. That's what my parents used to say about me. He may not look like much, but he's very upgradable. Thanks, Mom. Sigmar's working hard on the feeding pools, trying to keep ahead on supply. It makes you appreciate how easy it is to make overlords. Bercic is adding his first uploader for his manufacturer. It's analogous to a Terran add-on. It'll help him unlock more powerful units. In this case, the Blitzer, the Genetron tank, will become available. Oh, we got a worker Maynard coming out of Sigmar. That's pretty pro. Oh, looks like he timed it a little bit too early, but still, better early than late, I suppose. He does have the worker lead, and this is going to help him get that income advantage. It's all about the little things. That uploader is going to finish linking, and when that bluish-green fishing line attaches, that new tech becomes available, and as you can see, Bercic immediately starts making the tank. I love, love, love how you can physically see the Genetron units being produced. The Protoss has that with their Stargate, but the Genetron has it for all their production facilities. I guess technically it's a disadvantage because it means your opponent can scout you easier. But in terms of esport viewing, it's way better for the audience. Take note there, Frost Giant, that's something we definitely like to see more of. So Bercic, our Genetron player, has teched up, and we can see that Sigmar is actually doing the same. He's completed a mutagen chamber, and that's going to unlock more possibilities for him at his den. One of which is the Roamer, which he's actually making right now. The Roamer kind of looks like a big Xaidling, but it's an anti-light fighter, which makes it a very good choice against those Spitfires. The problem is what he doesn't yet know is that Bercic's been making those Blitzer tanks, and he's actually pushing out with them right now. Oh, this could be a problem for the Xayid. He's been droning up hard, and he doesn't have a bile pit to compensate. Meanwhile, Bercic is researching reinforced plating. That's gonna give all of his Blitzers an extra 25 points of health. Sort of like the mech version of combat shields. Here we go! Those red dots are supercharges. Those opening volleys did double damage and it showed. That green splash was just a scour. It didn't actually really do anything, it just grants vision. But maybe Sigmar is using it to scare Bercic off. He's got to do a worker pull. Oh, this is really bad. This could be a short one. Oh, maybe not. The workers are getting it done. Sigmar's worker lead is evaporating, but he's holding. Oh no, there's a reinforcing tank. Oh, there's another supercharge. It just one-shots a worker. Oh, is Sigmar gonna have to sack his natural? No, he has reinforcements. Those are low hit point Blitzers, and he clears them out. Does the Xayid have enough to hold? 3 more Xaidlings about to pop. I think he's gonna be alright. There's no more reinforcing units. Bercic pulls back, but behind this, he did make a fabricator. That's the higher tier tech for ground units. He's actually using it to make an anti-air unit called a Torrent. Possibly because he's expecting a counter by Sky. But more likely because that's the only thing you can get out of a manufacturer until you get an uploader on it. Sigmar's got a pair of unfinished feeding pools by his natural. The workers were killed in the attack. You'll see a lot of Xayid players building their feeding pools in groups of 3s. That's because feeding pools increase the production rate of structures nearby. Each pool improves it by 7%, but you can only stack it 3 times for a 21% boost. Oh, Bercic starts powering triple manufacturers and an extra fabricator. And his first fabricator's got double uploaders on it now. Oh, and he's using that to make himself a mole. As in, like, the animal that digs, not like a guy that subverts your entire team. Bercic takes his 3rd. Sigmar has managed to get his worker lead back. That was pretty fast. He actually lost 11 workers in that exchange. Sigmar's upgrading though. We saw +1 armor at the mutagen chamber, and mutate ocular activity coming out of that Casnalist den. That's +1 weapon range for the Xayidlings, just in case they weren't nasty enough. I know it sounds like such a small thing, but it means that 1 rank in the back is going to be able to fire in battle. I get that Starcraft is a game of many things, but one of those things is definitely range. And when you have it, you have advantage. Xayid pushing out. This strikes me as a good call. He's behind on expansions and his opponent is powering more than he is making units. This is how you keep him honest. Oh, before that roamer died, he threw a scour up the top of the ramp. That's one way to get high ground vision. Oh, and there's the dash pound. That boosts the Xayidling's attack speed. Oh, the moles are buried now and they're just raining hellfire. Sigmar did snipe the worker working on that processing core. So the 3rd is getting delayed. More scour shooting out there. The way Bercic reacts, I almost think that he thinks it's an attack. It's just vision. But vision is important in this game too. Critically so in certain situations. But he's reacting almost like he's confused it with the Prowler's blinding burst. Ah yes, while Sigmar's attacking, delaying his opponent's 3rd, he's started his own. Bercic says, "What delay? I've finished mine. And now I'm guarding it with 5 tanks and double moles." Sigmar's pulling back, but he just might be reinforcing with more Xayidlings. Oh, just a huge wave of Spitfires coming out here for Bercic. Oh, and you can see he's making a pair of Insiders, the Batmobiles. They do crazy damage against light units, so they should be very good against Xayidlings. Even if they have that +1/+1 advantage. Ah, we lost the production tab. I will have our observer flogged. Wait, can you actually get enough leverage to flog yourself? That's kind of a weird thing to think about. I don't know if Sigmar's got enough here. I'm still looking at those moles. Oh, and the Insiders are in there as well now. Oh, the Xayidlings just evaporate. They just don't have the hit points. They've got great offense, but they can't take those punches. Meanwhile, though, back at the Xayidling ranch, he does get his own 3rd up. And the incomes are pretty much even, which shouldn't be surprising since their worker counts are identical. And the game appears to have somewhat stabilized. Sigmar's going for +2/+2, and it looks like he's going for roach speed, but it's actually Scorpulus speed. I don't think he actually has a Scorpulus out in the field yet, though. Bercic, our Genetron player, going for triple processing drones. He's got one coming out of every core. And you'll see as it flies out, the core just donates it a ton of energy. Unless your core is depleted, those things are ready to go right out of the box. He's also getting the speed upgrade for his Spitfires. That's a big one, 60% boost. And his double outfitting stations have just about got him +1/+1, which is cueing Bercic to push out to attack. Oh, Sigmar's got Prowlers now and he's making acid nests. This is always fun. Those little earth pimples are cloaked, but they are biomines that explode on contact, not unlike a burrowed baneling. Oh, Sigmar picking a non-opportune time to expand here. The processing drones get picked off, but not before they hit the Xayidlings with analyzed weakness. That lets the Insiders rip through them like a hot knife through butter. There's the blinding burst. The Genetron turns green, that means he can't see, which means he can't attack. I've seen a lot of comments of people saying that is OP. And I can't say I disagree, but what you have to appreciate is that the Prowler can't cast the spell. It resonates from his body. So he has to get in close, which means he can get picked off. So if you don't want to get blinded, you've got to be diligent about focusing down any ninja that comes near you. And in this case, the blinding burst was enough to convince Bercic to rethink his attack. Though he did force a cancel on a scavenger nest, so perhaps he can say he got what he came for. And perhaps in response to those blinding bursts, Bercic has decided to do an air transition. Double assembly arrays going down. That always makes me happy because just about everything about the Genetron air is cool. Sigmar shows off his tenacity and immediately remakes that scavenger nest. He's making revilers now. That's that ranged high DPS attacker. Bit of a glass cannon, but once you get enough of them, you don't care. Bercic looking to shut down another base. This one's got a bile pit though. It just needs to buy him enough time for the Xayid to swing their army over to the other side. But time is up. Genetron's moving in. Bile pit gets focused down, but here comes the swarm. Bercic picking up the Prowlers to try to prevent the blinds. But at least one blinding burst got through. I guess that's the other defense to the blinding burst. If your army's deep enough, it's only going to affect the front ranks. While those blinded vehicles are headed for the mineral line, it's going to wear off. Oh, Insider's inside a fully saturated mineral line. This is just carnage. I'm sorry, but we had to censor the worker kill number on the left-hand side. Your young, sensitive eyes cannot be exposed to that much death. So many dead workers. I'm not sure, but it looked like it was 20. It looks like the mineral line was actually oversaturated with extra drones, because I think Sigmar was planning on transferring some drones to gas. Just a fantastic assault by the Genetron player. And here he's using the sight blockers to pop in and out against his opponent. Sigmar has the solution though, he's just gonna go right around. And the end result is that the Genetron is out-mining the Xayid now. And the timing is looking pretty good because his air transition is ready to rock. Unless he still wants to add uploaders. The Prowlers are gonna try to protect the third by putting down acid nests. Terrific defense, just not so great against air units. Sigmar's added a ton of workers, he's catching back up. And he's got 5 bases to 4. Remarkably, he's just caught up on income. And he's pretty close to getting his +3/+3. It's kind of hard to imagine that you can lose 20 workers to Insiders and still be ahead. Well, ahead might be getting carried away, but I think he's tied this up. Bercic took his foot off the gas and he might regret it. Though it's not like he was twiddling his thumbs. He put triple uploaders on both his assembly arrays. That's gotta mean we're gonna see Badgers. Though hold on, I haven't seen an analysis terminal yet. Now we also see that Bercic is just getting his +2/+2, so he's definitely behind on the upgrade game. But maybe that doesn't matter a whole lot if he's going air. But for now, rather than go air, he's actually adding back in a pair of moles and going for that triple processing drone again. Oh, hello, the assembly arrays just turned on. Those aren't Badgers, those are Jupiters. We might have to bust out the Wagner again. That is a lot of acid nests. Sigmar's still making those revilers, but also Kasnalisks. And he's got a chance to get on top of the Genetron production here. Suddenly those expensive assembly array and triple uploaders are looking kind of vulnerable. Especially if the Genetron moves out and leaves them undefended. He's got a turret back there, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, is he actually going to thread the needle with those acid nests? The processing drone is a detector, so he sees them. So it's smart that he's avoiding the nest, but it's taking him way out of position. This is a juicy target, but Sigmar's looking at one that's way juicier. Oh, Sigmar's coming back. This paid off for Bercic. Oh, stagnating vials from the Kasnalisks. Those are stunners. The Xayid's gonna wind up doing incredible damage here. Bercic fires back with Analyzed Weakness. Oh, a huge blinding burst. Hits almost the entire Genetron army. 2 Prowlers sneak up to drop off the next one, but they get picked off. But here comes the Eroders. The Insiders would love to hit that mineral line before they go. Bercic focuses down the nest. He'll take that as his trophy and try to leave. Oh, but was that a misclick? He tried to flee the wrong way and just got his army picked right off. Oh, something happened there and the Genetron is now way down on supply. Genetron decides to go for the big guns. The assembly rays are making Badgers. Bercic got an analysis terminal, and the Jupiters are off! It's gonna be napalm on the 4th. Sigmar has the worker pull. He gets them out of the flames. Don't go back in for your baseball cards, guys. Stay outside till the fire department comes. Well, unless it's a 1951 Bowman Willie Mays. Although that looked really dramatic, Sigmar minimized the damage and lost only 7 workers. Badgers are out, but so are Mazalisks. If you haven't seen my video with the Mazalist boy band, you haven't lived. These fat boys can really bring down the house. Oh, this poor turret is just gonna get rolled over. Mazalisks have +3 armor right out of the gate, and Sigmar's got his +3 upgrade to go with Badger's terrific anti-ground weapons, but that is too much. Oh, the Mazzilists hunker down and they become long-range anti-air. I mean, it's true the Revilers are doing all the heavy lifting here, but the Mazzilists look so cool. Even the Jupiters have come crawling back to watch. Genetron just does not have an army at this point, and his air production facilities are under siege. Processing core goes into lockdown just so it can show off that ability before it dies. It's GG. Bercic is not going to try to rebuild. And that is GVX, people. What a terrific matchup. Special thanks to Sigmar for donating that replay. Both our players put on a good show in this one. Lots of different units and spells firing off throughout the game. Quick thought. The Genetron really takes up space with its buildings and the uploaders. And I think Bercic ran out of room to put down his assembly ray and triple uploaders in his main. And so we built at his triangular third instead, and that third base really became an essential battleground for him. That was not redundant production he was building out there. The real fight for the game, though, actually happened earlier in the southwest. The fight just before at the Xayid triangular third. And, contrary to what I implied in the cast, it looks like Sigmar made the right call in that battle and pulled his army back to defend. The Kaznolisks used their stagnating bile spells to stun the Genetron army immediately upon their arrival. And that caused enough chaos to let the Prowlers in to do their blinding bursts. A terrific combo, whereupon the Revilers just slew everything. And when Bercic went for the retreat, I really do think he misclicked and walked his army in front of the Revilers one last time, and he lost everything. Including, as it turned out, the game. So props to Sigmar for the win, but don't forget about his hold to start off the game. I almost thought the game was going to end right there when the Blitzer tank started steamrolling his scavengers. That supercharge is really potent in early game. All in all, it was a great little showcase. So let me just thank all the new subscribers and say, from my base to yours, Zugzwang out. To continue your Starcraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your Starcraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang Starcraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.